Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Timberborn Z, where I'm losing my mind. Slowly, but surely, I'm losing my mind. But that's fine, because we're still having fun. And I did some stuff on the backside while we were away. Just because it takes a while to do all this, I figured I'd save you guys the pain and the suffering, and I went ahead and I did a little cleanup. Just a little bit of cleanup. Tore out some of the stairs, tore out a lot of the pathing here, and I started laying a lot of dirt. Now, we've got about 14,000 units of dirt floating around in the entire colony. A fair portion of that is right here, so I'm probably going to do something to allow them a quicker access to all of this material so that they can get up here and keep running this back into here. And I'm going to have to build some pathing in here as well so that we can actually get all of this laid. I need to do something with this. I haven't decided what I want to do with that. Maybe that'll just get covered up with something I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But this is what it looks like. We've got a nice platform to work with. And I've also finally got to the point where we can do this. I found the right hole, or found the right spot to make the hole, and we made the hole, and now we've got that in there, so now we can actually build all of the stuff in here, so we can get this up, and then I prepped this workspace. I got this in here now, so we've got a cap here. This will allow us to have a pressurized system as opposed to an unpressurized system, so we can have a large, our basin can be taller than the mountain here, if we want to go that route. If we don't go that route, due to time constraints or just my lack of desire to build 5,000 miles in the sky with all of the dirt in the world, because this alone probably is going to eat through all of our dirt. Honestly, I'm just going to be completely 100% honest with you. This is a metric poop ton of dirt. Okay, you guys can, it's metric poop ton. All right. But I digress. So that's one of the things that we're going to let them do today. We're going to actually work on some of this, get all of this established and running. Probably not going to actually use the sluice gates yet until we get this blasted out and we have some sort of a system, closed system for the clean water to go anywhere. But this is a good starting point, and then we'll also start working on taking this apart, making it into its own district as well. Probably end up doing maybe the same thing that we did elsewhere, and honestly we might run power on top of our tubeway system under there, which means we're probably going to blast a lot of stuff out that I'm actually telling them to put dirt in anyway, which is fine. I can accept that, and we'll just run power on top of the tubes, and that'll be great. Or below it. That might be the smarter maneuver. I think we've got one layer underneath the tubeway that we could actually play in. I don't know. We can see if that's how we can actually work that. Either way, we'll have power that will run across here that will feed all of this on that end. Another district that district crossing that I started working on is over here. I did a little bit of this on the backside, so I got that kind of put in here. I tried to save as much of my mangroves as possible, so we've got this monstrosity of a overhang and platform situation going on in there. It's all basically resting on 2 sets of platforms under here, which it works, so I can't complain about that, right? The problem that I have with this is I don't have power to run up into here. And the only way I could think of running power into that is by branching off of here, running along on top of this, blasting this up, blasting down, running over, blasting up, going in. And I don't know if the juice is quite worth the squeeze. We could probably expand this a little bit, toss in an engine, and call it good. But I'm not entirely thrilled about the prospect of doing that. So I think we're going to avoid doing that. But I'm going to warn you now. This is going to be a huge draw on the FPS here. So I don't know exactly how this episode's going to run. Probably going to see a lot of time lapses and then some various building montages. where I'm actually providing commentary as opposed to my normal videos that I produce for you guys, just because of how much of a draw on my system the game has become lately. So we'll see how it works when I press play. It's working at 1 FPS, 2 FPS, 1 FPS. But it's doing something where something's happening. Okay, that's all that matters, I suppose. Yeah. So what we'll probably end up doing is I will let you guys see this progress for a little bit, and then we will come back. You guys can enjoy the fruits of the beavers' labor. I'll try to be a little less chaotic in the moving around the cabin, if you will. I've given them plenty of stuff to do for a little bit. Actually, let's pause the game real quick, and I will give them pathing so that they can actually build all of the things. And that should be relatively simple enough. And that should give them access to everything, as well as all of this down here. So we'll just grab this path, run this along all of the ways. We'll unpause these guys just because they're there and there's no reason not to have them running. And then on this side, we'll go ahead and put in a couple stairs right there, and that lets them do this bad Johnny right there. And then we'll go ahead, we'll let the time lapse go, and you guys can enjoy this, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Welcome to the underground, bringing you the finest sound, putting you to sleep, no doubt. Everything is redone. Cave full of iron sun. There is no light in the house. They don't know what we on about. It's none of their business. All of my brothers in the dirt, we're just taking care of our business. But we gotta show them what we worth. We gonna build a big pile of dirt. They don't know what we on about. It's none of their business. All of my brothers in the dirt, we're just taking care of our business. But we gotta show them what we worth. We gonna build a big pile of dirt. Welcome to the underworld, spinning like a tilt-a-whirl. We're all gonna come unfurled. How many times must I tell you the wonders we're gonna sell you? It's just not of this world. I know what you might have heard. We're taking our time, gotta dig for iron, get it refined. Don't even ask if we're doing fine. We don't really care, it just doesn't work. We gonna build a big pile of dirt. They don't know what we on about. It's none of their business. Oh, working overtime at the dirt factory. Load it up, load it up, load it up. Let me see you put that dump truck up. We build it brick by brick, all day and all night, layering it to the sky. Stack it up. One time for the beaver down the road, two times for the ones I don't know, three times for the ones who don't know. You can do it if you put in the work. Beaver, just wait till I'm in my zone. When I get to building, I just can't stop. And if you need me, you can find me on the clock. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Let me see you get them loaders up. And if I go too fast, just let me know. And I can slow it down, we can take it slow. One time for the beaver down the road, two times for the ones I don't know, three times for the ones who don't know. You can do it if you put in the work. And if I go too fast, just let me know. And I can slow it down, we can take it slow. One time for the beaver down the road, two times for the ones I don't know, three times for the ones who don't know. You can do it if you put in the work. One time for the beaver down the road, two times for the ones I don't know, three times for the ones who don't know. You can do it if you put in the work. Build it up, build it up. Let me see you get them loaders up. Build it up, build it up. Let me see you get them loaders up. Build it up, build it up. Let me see you get them loaders up. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Let me see you get them loaders up. No, this is the final stand of the iron teeth. Come on, men, we are digging this. A great monument to our achievement. Yes, it's huge, and it's gonna be taller. We're the iron teeth, we're gonna build this.
And welcome back to, well, whatever this pain was, and I apparently forgot to turn my mic on. So you guys missed everything that I just said, so that's why I was doing this whole thing for about a few seconds. But the dirt path is in. It only took about 4 hours to get all of this flattened out and ready to rock and roll, and then I did some side projects. I got this running, gotten this ready for it to be broken off as a separate district. I'm getting this prepared or already in the running to have all of this torn out so we can have a nice clean work area to play with. This is prepped so that we can just make our overhang, our little cave area for these guys to work in. I don't know if I want to make like a little smoke stack exit, because, you know, smoke is typically bad for our beavers, but that's technically it's not required, right? Until we get something in the future and it becomes a suffocation thing for our beavers. But I digress. Don't do that, Depths, please. I digress. Anyway, I did some other side projects. I got this a little expanded. I took advantage of the overhang option that we have with dirt. So now that that's in, expanded that a little bit, tossed in an additional forester up here and got some more stuff. I did a little bit of work over here as well. When you're staring at a blank screen for 6 to 9 hours, or in this instance 4 hours, waiting for dirt to be laid, you kind of get bored. So I did a little extra. I blasted some of this out. I put some of this in. I got this built so that our district over here can very easily take care of itself. It's purely a bot district aside from this district, but we haven't had a need for that in a hot minute, thankfully. We're doing pretty good on keeping our beavers out of all of the pain and suffering that is associated with the bad tide. Other than that, we're kind of in a bad spot right now. A drought just kicked off and our entire system isn't nearly as full as I'd like it to be. So we might actually have to come down here and get some of this water to actually fill our back stores. I realized that by dropping my work hours by even the 2 hours, that our beavers weren't keeping up with the water demand, so it was slowly dropping away. So I increased the amount of bots running. That's why we've got this right here. We've got this monstrosity of a build already put in. It's pretty efficient. We've got a metric ton. Okay, we don't really have a metric ton, but we have a lot of bots running around right now. So that's quite helpful. And we've been able to slowly replace the majority of our bio beavers with bots. So I think the majority of all of the hauling posts are now bots, and then I've got all of the water pumpers as bots. All of these places are bots. I made some minor adjustments to this. I gave them a little drop off right here in this overhang. Empty space is wasted space, and so I took advantage of that. I put in a couple more of the bad water pumpers because we were running into a bad water shortage, and that also plays into our extract shortage. So there were a couple of instances of running into some tertiary stuffs that help our bots and our beavers do things happier. But I do have to say I'm pretty excited about the fact that we've got, we're a little full on scrap metal now. We're maxed out on sparkly planks. Planks are full. Metal blocks are full. The stuff that I want to have full are stuff like grease and extract and bad water. And we're trying to rectify that. All that is happening in the background. And of course, the piece de resistance. We've got all of this in finally, and I don't know, feel like we're going to cover this up. So I've been staring at this little block of explosives that have been sitting here for the past 6 to 9 minutes, and or past 6 to 9 hours. So I think we're just going to rip that out and accept that as a wasted effort that it was, but that's totally fine. And yeah, sure, I probably could have done things a little bit quicker by putting in some more tube ways to get them over here to run dirt and all that other stuff, but I couldn't be bothered. I felt like putting in tube ways to waste material to just rip it out in short fashion seemed a little excessive. But yeah. Now, this is in, I don't know if I actually recorded the build of this, so this is pretty simple. I've got good water that I'm going to have pushing out this way, and I've got bad water going out this way. There are only 3 water sources in here. I'm not entirely sure how much good water we'll get out of this during a min temperate cycle, or even a max temperate cycle for that matter. So this will be an interesting effort to determine how much we'll get out of that. If it's at least 4 to 5 tiles deep of water, then I'll call that a win. The problem is, how long will that last? I don't know. We haven't really been able to block any of that because all the water has just been running off the side back here. So next we're going to get in here and we're going to blast out a channel, and then we're going to start building on top of this and producing some sort of channel for the water to push out over to here. And we're going to build, we'll probably blast this down to have a flat workspace again. And then we're going to put in a rather large reservoir, probably right in around here. And the reason I want to do it right around there, because I want to kind of take advantage of these little overhangs that I've produced, and maybe even put in some more overhangs so that we can basically get our beavers up here to just build down all across here. And we'll probably continue this overhang system out as far as we can so that we can basically continue to build from top down in perpetuity until our system is done. How that looks, I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to like build our like scaffolding structure system that we have that runs throughout the entire build right here, but I feel like that might be necessary. Another thing that I want to do, I want to rip out all of the regular platforms here and put in our 1x6 overhangs, which I believe this is 1x6. So we'll have a little bit of area to work with, and we could probably even come in here. I do want to keep this gap, this air gap, to kind of prevent the spread of bad water into our mountain that we're creating. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to look. Maybe up top we'll have the gap filled, and we'll put some irrigation barriers to prevent the poo water from spreading. It shouldn't spread through the levees, allegedly. I'm not entirely sure if that's a true statement or not, but we'll figure that out one way or the other. We might even come in here, put dirt in, put a line of what are they? Irrigation barriers on top of that, put some sort of platform on top of all of that, and then put more dirt. That might be what we end up doing, and then we'll have to just bury this in around here. Maybe that will prevent enough of the spread of the bad water. I don't know. I don't think it really is necessary though, because this is so far below where we would have any of the irrigation reach that I'm not too concerned with that. I'm realizing this is spreading quite a ways though. That is insane how far that is spreading. We might actually have to come in here, blast some of this out anyway, and just put irrigation barriers, because I feel like our mountain is going to spread out at least to this far, maybe even this far as well. So that irrigation, bad water irrigation, is going to cause a problem. Another problem that I've noted is we've kind of exceeded our power capacity. So if we come over here, we can actually click on one of these guys, and we are at about 5% reduction for everybody in the entire area. And that can be rectified by doing a couple of things. We can maybe expand this a little bit, but I don't know how much of that is worth the squeeze. We're currently 2,000 shy, and we can meet that demand by putting in maybe 4 or 5 more engines, or we can come over here and start building this up. This is another portion of, or another supply of bad water that we could turn into a power system, and we could just have that punt off the side back in here and not build a monstrosity of a wall like we have over here, but we could definitely take advantage of a system like that, which we might end up doing just to or not. We may not touch that. I'm not entirely sure if I want to touch that, because that's a tad bit egregious, excessive, and I don't wanna. We might do it anyway just because we have the capacity to do so. And that won't look too crazy. It'll be, we'll probably break off of here, run our tubeway up to here, and then put in a series of platforms and overhangs to run the bad tide off. And we'll put in a bunch of our large water wheels to take advantage of that. We might do a little bit of zigzagging down, but I digress. You guys are more interested in this next plan here. So let's go ahead and start working on that. And let's see how this all works out. So we have a line of 3. So we're going to come across like such as, we're going to drop this down. We don't need doubles there. We need singles there. Boosh. We'll go ahead and do that here. Then we should be able to very simply come in and place our first line of dirt right there, right here. And I feel like this is going to be a good starting point. I'm anticipating going higher though. I do kind of want to have a pretty big mountain, right? Another thing, I completely forgot that this was one of the things that I wanted to do. So we'll go ahead and do this real quick. Rip out all of this stuff. That's interesting. I guess because these were old platforms, they're giving us logs back. Is that true? I don't know if that's a true statement or not, but that's interesting. I did not anticipate that. I thought that we would only get planks back for all this, but I'll call that a win. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and grab this and just rip that across all the way to the end. We'll go ahead and grab our path. Run this along back here. We can go ahead and tear this out. We can grab this, rip out this path as well, since this path is no longer needed, and we can go ahead and start working on where we want our reservoir to exist. So I'm thinking that we'll have a reservoir, something like this. Give me that button. Don't necessarily know how wide we want this to go, but I don't think that this is bad, honestly. So we'll do that. We'll come over here. We'll rip that out. We'll probably put in some more industrial piles to catch some of this dirt that we're ripping out, because right now it can't really go anywhere. Something. I have 15,000 units of dirt, 16,000 units of dirt floating around. So there is that. I will call that a win, sort of, I guess. Is that a win? I'm going to say that's a win. All right. So that will be our starting point, and then we'll go ahead and fill all of this in. So I'm going to do another speed up montage here as I fill this in, and we'll catch you on the backside. All right. Think I found a problem with my original idea. So if I have a giant box that goes up this high, It's kind of gonna be hard to have this kind of taper off. There might be enough room. I anticipate there being enough room, hopefully, maybe? Question mark? Another thing that I just realized that I need to do is I wanted to have a return flow into here so that the water... Well, actually, that's right. I wanted to have like a series of pumps that would pump it back into here. So I think that's what I kind of wanted to do. I think... Maybe I'm trying to remember my plan, and I'm failing epically. But another thing that I wanted to do was to come in here and put in a series of mechanical pumps. So that's going to look something like this. Going to come in here, flip that. That's going to reach down. That's going to pump into there. Then we're going to have, I think... The easiest way is just to do something like this. Nope, we're going to have to bring that back one. Okay, so maybe... Well, I think we can go up to 6 deep with this thing, so that should be fine doing something like that. And again, it's not, so that's mildly annoying, but that's okay. That's where we have these that come into play. So we can go ahead... do something like that, and then toss this in, and then we put in our levees right here, like this. We can put in our fluid, mechanical fluid pump, and that should reach. It does. Great. We do need to put in our impermeable flooring there, and then we're going to have to do that a few more times. But this is fun, so I'm not going to kick you guys away. Is that excessive? Maybe? Maybe it's excessive? I like excessive, so we're going to do that. I think this is going to be the height that we go to, though. And I don't know if we'll have the box continue to be this kind of a box. I'm not entirely sure how... Yeah, I think that's totally fine. I think that's rational. I think that's quasi-reasonable. So maybe we go a little bit higher. Up here. This is the tedious part of this kind of stuff. And then, of course, staring off into space while everything gets built is the other bit of tedium that we get to deal with. But it is totally fine, and I enjoy this portion. If you're trying to plan out some sort of massive structure that is going to look cool and hopefully be semi-relevant to what it is that we need to do. And so I think how this needs to look is we need to do something where we can kind of cap this off. So we are going to need to get into here somehow and build our overhangs so that we can put our dirt on top. And then somehow hide our overhangs as well, which could be a bit of a problem. And the thing that we could do is we could start bringing this in instead of having it be just a straight box. We can have this start closing in a little bit, and so maybe we can do that. So that'll look something along these lines, like this, right? So we'll go ahead and rip that out. We'll grab a triple, grab that, bring that in, and then we can put our dirt in like this. And maybe we should have done this a few blocks earlier. Maybe, and maybe we do this. So we'll rip this out. Rip that out. We'll put in another triple overhang right here. We'll put some more dirt in on top of all that. Maybe a double would have been a bit more relevant in this situation. We'll put it in. We'll see what it looks like. If we did doubles, then that would put us stepping up a little bit more aggressively. I'm not necessarily opposed to that. So, well, we also kind of want to have it look a little, I don't know. I don't know if that's what we need here. So, and I need to really figure out or need to stop creating additional work for myself, which is mildly annoying. And I just realized that I don't have the game music playing. I turned that down while I was waiting. My apologies. We'll go ahead and get that back up, and then we'll take a look at some more of this. Okay, so we'll do that all the way across here. Go ahead and just rip this across. That'll save me from having to delete things. So we'll do this all the way there. And that is now on the same height, but we need to go up one higher because that's going to be a reservoir there, and we're going to fill this entire top portion in with dirt. Now, another thing that we need to accomplish in some way is obviously getting them a way up here to do all the things, to finishing up the rest of this dirt. I'm not really concerned with how this is facing. I really should be concerned with some of it because this is going to make things a little bit more painful as we progress upwards, but I don't, if I provide them ample means to build on top, I don't anticipate this to be a problem, hopefully. As I continue to make things build in a not smart fashion, so we want to do something like this the rest of the way up. We want to rotate that in. I'm trying to do this in a fashion that would provide us with as many points of contact as possible now, because this is going to be quite the build. This will go there, and then we want to do, okay, and we just so happened to find the peak again for the second time. Okay, well, this is the peak that we can get to. It's good to know. I want dirt there. Dirt all the way along here. Do that there. Rotate. Don't think those two are necessary. And then we'll do something like this. And then like that. Then we'll come in here. And we need, like I said, to find a way to platform up to this point right there. And I also need to put dirt on all of this. So we'll go ahead and toss that in. And yeah. I needed poo. Wanted some sort of riverlets to be running through here too. And this is why I am not considered an aesthetic builder. But this is okay. There are ways to rectify this. Of course, we can't build up there. Poop. Give me that back. All right. So this is going to have to be this level right here. Going to have to be something like triples all the way across the board here. Just to get it over there? Question mark? Well, here. Actually, can we get away with that? Yes, so this will be the top. Now, how are we going to build on this side, you ask? I have no idea. But we'll figure it out. Actually, that can't be there. Because that's where our thing is going to be in. Okay, I want this like this, and then this like that. Need impermeable flooring in here, and then we are going to toss in our mechanical fluid pump. And that should reach down there just fine, and then we can now put in our 1x3s right there, and a 1x2 right here, and then we can put dirt on all of that without any major issue. Theoretically. I'm realizing that I should not be putting it that way because I'm anticipating building it from the other side. I think, hopefully, maybe. So let's do that like this, rotating it that way. I think I went one too far. I did, so we're gonna have to tear that out right there. That line, then the rest is figuring out how we want to put in our overhangs on this side, which is probably going to look something along these lines. So we'll do a series of platforms back here. I don't want to have to try to figure out the mechanics of putting in overhang and dirt. Well, nope. This is fine. I will accept this. It's gonna be hidden. We're not gonna see it. So I'm okay with this as a way to solve the problem that we have created for ourselves here. So that goes to there. That's fine. This goes all the way to the top. This is going to burn through our planks like no one's business, but we've got $4 grand sitting around, so I'm not too upset about that. Okay, and then we needed singles. Do we need singles? No, we need our 1x6s in here. And that goes all the way across to that side. And I think we have a gap there, but we can deal with that with our overhangs. Our overhanging dirt, I should say. Does that fill that gap? No, it does not. Does that fill that gap? Yes, it does. And then we put all of our dirt in on top of this like that. We'll have to go back through and put in that final gap right here, because it is technically an overhang. You can't do that by itself. And bada bing, bada boom. We've made a mess. An absolute mess. And I still need to provide a way for the water to get in there. So that is going to look a little something like this. So let's go ahead and get that sorted. So that is going to be down to that height. This is going to be down to this height right here. So we can do something along those lines. And then we can start working our way across like this. I don't know if this is simpler to do the overhangs or if it'd be simpler to do the metal platforms. I'm going to go with overhangs just because I feel that that makes my life a little bit simpler. Okay, I forgot to, you know, make that the same height. So, oops. It's okay. Don't worry, guys. I can fix it. I am not a professional at this game. If you guys think I'm a professional at this, then we're going to have a discussion. You guys are going to have to go find, I don't know, somebody smarter than me. Okay, I don't know if I could put these on here. I cannot. That's annoying, but we can do something like this. And rip that out, put in our overhangs like that, and then we can go up like that. We're gonna have to do a single across the top, then bada bing. I'm really starting to think that the metal platforms are gonna be smarter. Though it's easier to build these. The overhangs are a lot easier to build. So I think we will do that. I think we might actually have to do something to get these guys up here, because I definitely did not do this in the smartest fashion. So it's probably going to entail creating some sort of platform system around the outer edge of this so that we can get them up here in a semi-coherent fashion. Oh, goodness gracious. I've created quite the mess for myself. I really wish I could hide this. I could hide it in some sort of... I don't know how I want to hide it. Yeah. Yeah. Was this on top of an overhang? It is not. Okay. Don't know how I want to necessarily fix that either, but this is fine. And yes, okay, we can continue. We're gonna have to tear a portion of this out and create an inlet for this water to go in, which I think will look pretty cool. Maybe, hopefully. I am not Ron Burgundy, so I'm sorry for anybody who came here looking for Ron Burgundy, alright? Yes, that joke is dead. I apologize for beating that dead horse to quite literally death. So many times making that terrible joke. But it was necessary, alright? It was absolutely necessary. I think this is 3. Yes, so we're going to need to do this like that. Pull that all the way up. Realize that I went one too high. Grab that. Put in our doubles here. Put in a 1x3. Actually... yeah, let's go ahead and... This will be our measuring stick. We're going to have to grab this button and then grab that. Oh. Well, that's helpful. I'll call that a win. All right. And then we will... So we could do this one of two ways. We could do impermeable flooring across, or we could put dirt in. I like the idea of just impermeable flooring, just to punch that into there. And then we could put in our dirt along here. Do we need... Yeah, we need dirt. Then rotate, do the same thing on this side. And then what we want to do is put in a series of 1x3s on top, like this. And then we can put impermeable flooring on top of that, or we can put dirt on top of that. I I think the easiest is impermeable flooring. Aesthetically, though, dirt kind of makes sense. Well, no, aesthetically, dirt does not make sense. But we do need to cap this off like this so that the water does not spray out. And that will be what this entire system looks like. So I want to give this a priority because I want to get this built faster. We can get this end in. The moment these explosives get in, we can start pathing down here and getting across. I think that's going to be a little easier to get this done. And then as a side project, these guys can come in here and start putting in all of that stuff on top. So what we're going to do is I'm going to step away for a second. We're going to let things run and we'll let them place the dynamite. We'll come back in, blow the dynamite, finish out the rest of the aqueduct, and then we'll have a bit of a time lapse building the beginning of the box. All right, so stick with me and we'll catch you on the flip side. All right. That went a little bit faster than I anticipated, so that's cool. We need to rip this out. Go ahead and put in another piece of dynamite right here. Give that a priority and let them go ahead and finish that up real quick. And then once that gets tossed in, we can blast this, provide them a method down. And I was thinking while looking at this, why am I concerned about putting this impermeable flooring on here when I'm about to put dirt all over this? So I feel as though that's a tad bit unnecessary. So we'll fill this in, we'll cover this up with dirt and everything, so that will be the answer there. And additionally, I need to cover this up as well, so that'll be something that we could play with. I see that they've already started putting in some dirt back here, so that's cool. They've already started working on this as well, so that is even more entertaining for us, so that is good to see. Hopefully we haven't gotten any of our beavers stuck. I don't think we can have done that because they don't have any pathing to actually get access to anything back here anyway. So that is good. And let us see here. So let's go ahead. We're going to hit play button. Hopefully it doesn't take them 5,000 years to accomplish this. Just need them to toss in one little dynamite real quick. Watching this game play at 4 FPS is very painful, to say the least. And I see that we have reached 515 bots floating around. 523 bots, and we've got 8 beavers doing nothing right now, so that's cool to see. Okay, all this is in, so we can go ahead and click this button, get this prepared to blast. I will note that this side is closed as far as the sluice gates are concerned, so that's why this is not opening up and spilling water everywhere. So that's kind of part of the plan right now until everything gets finalized in here, so that is why that is like that. I do, however, need to come in here. I realize that I need to blast this out because I need to put an overhang on top of that, and I don't think that I can do overhangs in front of this. I can do overhangs in front of that, so I should be able to do something like this all the way across there, and then we can put dirt on top of all of that like this. And so we'll do that like that, and that like that. I should have just covered this entire thing in dirt, honestly. So this dynamite is not necessary, but we can go ahead and cover all of this. Cover all of that. And I think we might be able to just rip out this impermeable flooring here. And should be able to fill this or cover this in dirt relatively quickly, so that that doesn't become a problem well, it shouldn't become a problem in the near future, hopefully. Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. So we'll let them work on that, and then we can also provide them a set of stairs to work their way down here, and then they can go and conquer all of the rest of the things, theoretically. At least that's the going in argument. I think what we could do is rip that out and rip this out as well. Give them another set of stairs down here. And then we can just path all along this backside like this, so that they can work their magic. So they'll be able to build this staircase right here down into this area, and then they should be able to build forward without any issues. So we'll let that run out and let them continue to work on all of this. And yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to set you guys up in something like this, and we're going to let it play for a little bit, and we'll probably end the episode here, because I feel like this episode's gone on quite long enough. So enjoy the montage, the music, maybe some little talkie from me, and hopefully none of our beavers get stuck. But we'll catch you on the flip side. I appreciate you all. Stay fun, stay thirsty. Past me is out for a little bit. See ya.
Digging this, a great monument to our achievement. Yes, it's huge, and it's gonna be taller. We're the Iron T, we're gonna build this great mountain of dirt. Dig for the iron teeth, for the iron teeth, for the iron teeth. Digging, 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 digging. Scrap, 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 scrap. And they will say that the iron teeth were the greatest beavers to ever live, to ever live. Dig, 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 dig. Dig, 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 dig.
And with these last few pieces of dirt, it's finally done. The box is done. Now we just need to finish the rest of the mountain itself. Oh, took 10 hours just to build this. Well, I kind of ran into some other problems. You can kind of tell I'm out of water and I'm out of logs and I'm out of all the other things. And I had to do some adjustments to some stuff over here. And I've got too many beavers and I've ran out of water. And it's been a day. It's been a day. But we got some stuff done. It happened all in the background. It's all minor stuff. I blew up a mountain. I made a giant tree farm. I put in some stuff to make the beavers work a little faster. I probably need to put in some stuff to make the science work a little faster. The water system wasn't keeping up with everything because, well, I kept getting very short temperate cycles with very long droughts and bad tides, and it's been painful. This FPS counter down here, it was at 1 the entire time. It was at 1 the entire time. Well, not the entire time. It went up to about 10 at some point. But yeah. This is it. This is the box. Very boxy. It's not irrigating anything. I'm kind of curious as to why that is. There's water in there. There's no reason for it not to be irrigating. But nothing's irrigated. I don't understand why it's not doing that. I don't know. I didn't put any irrigation barriers or anything in there. It should be like lush and green right here, but it is not. I don't know why it's not doing that, but yeah. So that's done. Now we get to come in here and probably close some of this off somehow, clean up this edge right here, and then we get to fill in the rest. Make our nice little mountain and have our stream that runs through it. And I probably need to do something with the water in here other than just holding it and running a nice little stream. Sure, it'd be cool. It looks pretty and it's awesome to say, hey, we built a giant mountain and, you know, that's pretty neat. But man, how am I still at 16,000 dirt? I'm so confused. There's no way I was consuming it as fast as I was producing it. I don't know. Whatever. Cool. Our system does work. Water comes across the way. It goes into the thing. I need to cover this entire area up so it's nice and clean and clear. And then we can just fill this entire area in with some more dirt. That'll be fun. And I'll probably do something along these lines, but not with the... maybe we'll continue using the overhangs. It seems to be relatively simple, but I'll build them off of here instead of continuing to build up because we're encroaching upon the max build limit. But yeah, I hope that future me is able to put something together here that makes this into a semi-coherent or mildly interesting video for you all. I hope that you enjoyed my pain, my suffering, and my giant box. And I have yet to touch this. But on a side note, we've got only 29 positions being filled by BioBeavers at this point. So once we're done with the building, we can turn off all the builder sets and put them all into the final few spots and let our BioBeavers, who have been slowly pausing, stay living forever. Like, we grab 80 here. Okay, 80's 52. Okay, let's grab Aaron. They're all pretty old. I need to repause the game, otherwise it's gonna take up way too much stuff. But yes, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that you enjoyed my giant box in the building they're in the beginning of our mountain escape. And I hope that you guys have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world. Make sure you guys stay nice and thirsty, nice and hydrated, and yeah, keep your beavers nice and hydrated as well. I'm out of here. See ya!